All right, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Let us know how we sound so we can get this out of the way.
You got milk?
Okay. I don't have anything in front of me. I don't have any chat or anything. So,
All right, that's fine.
okay.
You don't see the chat on the side?
I do not see the chat.
Okay. If there's any questions, I'll read it back to you. Flown Grown, Adam, Ozark Prepper, Patrice. Sorry, Groundhog, Preto, Dak, thank you for the 5x5. Uptech, Mr. Landfill, Tinfoil, I like that one. Eric, Raccoon Eyes, Dana, thank you for the 5x5. Bush Pig, Patty, Scamble, excuse me, Water Tacker Pro, Nikki, Let's Go, Quadruple Zero, Solemn, Buy the Book, Mary, Mr. Wilson, thank you for the 5x5. Raymond, Snafu, I like that one. Winston, Renee, David, Dobie, thank you for the 5x5. Nancy, Black Wolf, Lexi, Dr. D, thank you. Windflower, thank you for 5x5. Sunshine, thank you for 5x5. All right. Yeah, this is a lot better than the last time.
Yes. Yeah. The last time that was embarrassing.
Like, I think you were trying to use your phone, right?
Yes, I was. No. I was on my laptop.
Well, you were on your
But
laptop.
we were having a storm. We were having a storm. So,
Okay, that should be. All right, that's a lot better. All right, good. Andy, thank you for 5x5. Short Bus, thank you for 5x5. Shitballs. Dopest Mom, Slim Shady, Beef and Chicken, Eric, Lori, thank you for the 5x5.
beef and chicken. Some of these names just oh my gosh, I can't keep a straight face with them.
I know, like Short Bus Mooner, that's a good one. Sojourner, Grit and Grace, Disgruntled, Christopher, Kathy, thank you for the 5x5. Sunshine, thank you for the 5x5. I'm pretty sure I missed somebody, and if I missed you, sorry. Dopest Mom, thank you for the 5x5. And we are good. All right, so for those that don't know, this is Calamity Girl. She was on here the last time we tried to do this 2 months ago now, was it? Or a month ago? Right?
That
Right. It was a shit show. But she was on the show about 2 years ago, I think it was, uh, when she had
three.
problems with three. Okay, excuse me, three. When her house burned down, right? You had the home problem. So anyway, this is Calamity Girl. You can head over to her channel. Hopefully, somebody puts the link in the chat. I'll try to look for it on my end. But good channel, straightforward, and obviously, I've known her for a couple of years now, so I'm more selective on who I interview now. Before I thought it was a good time to interview everybody. I don't do that shit anymore. Fuck that noise. Um, we try, I'm trying to be a lot more selective now. So if you see anybody on here, that means I've either known them for a little bit and or vetted them as best as I can. Is that me? What is that? Are you listening to something on your end?
No.
That was weird. Yeah, that was very weird. All right. Okay, so tonight's show, guys, we're going to be talking about obviously the election, and
Hmm.
there's something bad that's building up. I don't think, before I get to that point, it's weird. You hear that?
What?
It sounds like there's like someone has a TV set or something in the background.
I don't have anything on.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, what the hell? FBI, I like that, by the way. Yeah, the feds are cutting in. That is strange. It sounds like there's something else in the
It
back.
does. It does sound like. To me, it sounds like there's something unidentifiable in the background
Right.
going on, like a.
Yeah, and then people say I hear mental. No, Missy, it's not an echo. That was fucking weird. Let's see if it's from like everybody's like the feds. I hear it UFO. That is fucking strange. I don't have a TV because I fucking broke it a couple of weeks ago. So I don't have one on. So that's fucking
Did you
weird.
throw it across the room?
No, I threw a remote at it and I cracked the screen like a fucking asshole. So, and once you crack these new TVs, they're not like the old ones. Once you crack these new ones, that's it. It's done.
That's it.
I was on my phone, but I wasn't playing a video. Could that have been it?
Mm,
Restore? Yeah, I was trying
I
to.
don't.
Maybe it was. If it was, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
All right.
All I hear is just like a buzz. I don't have anything going on.
So the name of your channel is still Calamity Girl, right? Or is it no Cook Clean
Yeah,
Friends? All right, got it.
yeah. I had to change it because I needed to make it more niche happy.
Niche. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. So hold on. I'm
Hmm.
trying to pull it up. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Hi, everybody. By the way, I'm Calamity Girl. While he's working, and yeah. So I can't see the chat at all, but I know you're there. And hi.
So tell us a little about your channel before we dive into this election nonsense.
Okay. Oh well, my channel is basically it's cooking, cleaning. I do a lot of hacks. I test out a lot of different things. Right now, I'm really into small things people can do to save money by not throwing food away that they don't realize that they're doing. You
Okay.
know, and then it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughing. Chat is heavily involved.
Very good. So her
Yeah.
channel is in the chat. So check it out, guys. I'm gonna try to remember by the end of the night and put it in the description section that's below for those of you that are catching
Thank you.
this late. So I have to ask you, well, jump right into it. What do you think about the election nonsense that we're starting to see?
Well, I kind of expected it, to tell you the truth, because with everything that happened, and it happened kind of so smoothly compared to what we were expecting. Because I was expecting to see some stuff going off,
All right.
and there was nothing like that really, as far as I know, and I think that the most important thing is that um, he stay alive, or that they try not to uh, derail him before he gets to, was it January 20th or 22nd?
The 20th.
20th.
Yeah.
And but the day that they certify the election, that is what I'm hearing is to be on the lookout for.
Right. So the certification of the election is January
Hmm.
6th, 2025 in Washington, D.C. There will be protesting on that day as well. So I'll
Hmm.
probably be taking two trips to D.C. January 6th again, and then the inauguration, which is the 20th of January. So interestingly enough, uh, I knew that the left were going to pout and carry on, but I didn't
Hmm.
think that they were going to start protesting something that they cannot turn around. Now, granted, that same goes for the J6. Like when they were there, showing their dismay, I was like, all right, fine. But once it got to that level of stupidity, I was just like, wait a second, what is this, right?
Hmm.
Thing is that it seems like maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like they're still trying to blame the right and calling us extremists, saying that we might interfere with the election, which doesn't make any sense because the right should be quiet, as we always are. We're quiet, and they're still trying to blame us when it's the left making these crazy videos that, I mean, you could
Hmm.
spend you could spend a couple of hours watching these people make jackasses out of themselves. I've never seen anything like it. I
Hmm.
I saw a video today of a lady saying, we're going to wake up and we're going to be in chains again, black folks, and we're going to be slaves.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and I think I saved the video. If not, I'm going to find it, and I'm definitely going to do a video on it or put it in one of my videos. But this lady legitimately thinks that black people are going to be slaves, and I don't know where that ideology came from. I'm still at a loss, actually. What do you think is going to be the? What do you think between now and January 6th, 2025? Do you think anything's going to happen?
Yes. Yeah, in my heart of hearts, I do. Yeah.
And how bad do you think it's going to get? Mental breakdowns.
Well, to tell you the truth, I think it's going to get pretty bad because let's face it. That's there's nine innings to a ball game,
Okay.
right?
Right.
And yeah, the other team, got what is that? Bases loaded and home run, grand slam. However, the game isn't done. He's not sworn in, and a lot can happen between now and then. And I really feel that they think that this is their opportunity. Now's their opportunity.
Yeah. So there are a lot of great comments in the comment section. A lot of them are flying by, but you got people saying, like Adriana saying that she saw the video of a kid. I just saw the article. I didn't see the video of a kid saying that he's leaving America, but he's moving to Hawaii. Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, when I saw that,
Yeah.
I looked at
Is
it
he going to
twice.
Oprah's Maui? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the craziness about it is like there's so many dumb things being said. I'm reading shit and thinking maybe it's my eyes, right? Because I know my eyes are going bad, but I'm like, I can't be reading this right. Did I read this right, or did I hear that right? I mean, the amount of if you're a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna do some videos on it. Some of these people and the shit they're saying, man, I just do not understand. I mean, people are
No.
screaming into their phones, like they're setting up their phones and then going record, and then and acting like an asshole. I'm like, what the fuck is that? How do you?
Mhm.
And so now that I'm watching, and somebody just said in the comment section, the chat, somebody says they're drumming them up to, I guess, commit violence of some kind. And I have to
Mhm.
agree,
Mhm.
or I can see that happening. Not so much that I agree with the comment, but I can see that happening because it's like it's starting in steps. Like when Trump lost the
Mhm.
last time, we didn't behave badly until J6, right? But
Mhm.
leading
Mhm.
up to that, people weren't in the streets protesting every day. They had a protest. I think it's today, and it might be one Saturday. I'm definitely going to head to the one in Saturday, and they didn't announce it
Mhm.
yet,
Mhm.
but they always do. They always
Mhm.
announce when they're going to do one, and I know they're going to have a bigger one Saturday. So I'm going to see what that's going to
Mhm.
look like. But there's not much you can do.
Well, yeah, well, let me ask you this question: If um, a man,
Hmm.
and it happened to be a black man, George Floyd, could set off if the the problems between he and the police in Minnesota, if that could set off all of these riots going off in the country, that's nothing compared to Donald Trump. And, let's face it. I mean, Germany they are pissed at us because Donald Trump won.
Really?
And, oh, yes,
Oh, I didn't know that.
absolutely. Hmm. Hmm. And uh, a lot of the liberal countries, you know, there's nothing to really protect him, in my opinion. There's
Okay.
nothing to really protect him, and I think that that is going to accelerate all kinds of violence,
All right.
and even more. And once the left pushes so far It's gonna you can only push so far before you get bitten. And so then the right is going to say, you know what, that's it. And then sparks fly.
And I have to agree with what you just said. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't know about Germany. I know that Hezbollah was requesting, or they want a ceasefire now because Trump won, which was strange.
Hmm.
I know Putin said that he's
Hmm.
not backing down onto Ukraine.
Hmm.
And it's funny. One of the guys in the firehouse, he made a great point. He goes, "We have nothing but egotistical people in power right now around the
Hmm.
world, and that includes Trump." I mean, Trump has
Hmm.
fucking it. One side of me wants to say, listening to him speak lately, it seems like his ego has come down from what it was back in 2016 and 2020. But I want to definitely hold back on completely committing to that comment until we see what he does in office. Because now he's elected,
Hmm.
everybody's like, great. I'm like, all right, but now he's got to show and prove. Just because he's back in doesn't mean because everybody swears that he's back in, shit's just going to get better all of a sudden. It doesn't work that way,
No,
like, not at all, right?
no.
But everybody's like, oh man, this is going to be good. I mean, like the good side, and because I'm a little more, I guess, cynical or an asshole, you choose. The beauty of him winning is the left acting like retards, and that's what I like. That's what I'm getting a kick out of. As far as him, as far as him, doing what he needs to do, we got to wait and see.
Hmm. Hmm. But don't you think that, I mean, because let's face it, three-quarters of the world is pissed
Right,
that he won. Okay.
right,
So there's not going to be a whole lot of encouragement there for, yeah, we can do this. Number two is, don't you kind of, maybe it might be just me, but don't you kind of feel or think that it's almost like he has a heads up of something?
What do you
Doesn't it
mean?
seem like that?
Like he knows something's
Like,
coming?
yeah, yeah.
It's very very strange you said that because I was thinking about that last night. What the hell was I doing? I was staring at a wall or some shit like that. It was, and trying to go to sleep. And I was thinking, what if he's not the same guy we saw in 2016, right? What if he's somebody different, and
That's
that
what I'm getting at.
right, and what if because of everything that's going on around the world and the elites that are trying their shit, what if we get a different dude? The problem with that is that we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see what that looks like.
I think that ever since the uh, assassin attempt on him,
Right,
um, he's not the same. He's not the same. I think that it's like this: when people don't think something is going to happen to them
right,
until it does, you know? And
right,
then it was just like me, I know, we survived the largest wildfire in Wyoming history. And we were the only ones to not even lose a blade of grass, our ranch.
okay,
Okay. I almost felt invincible. And I hate to say that, but I almost felt invincible. And then a year and a half, my home burned down from an electrical fire. And then now I'm not afraid to say, you know what, that can happen to me easily. That's why I'm calamity girl.
right. Now
Hmm.
it's I'm looking at some of the comments here, and someone says, and they're right. You're never the same after something like that happens, and that is very well true. Anybody who's experienced any kind of trauma, they're never going to be the same.
No.
I do think that's why I think when I said earlier, he seemed a little more like tamed and subdued. I think maybe the
Hmm.
assassination attempt made him think like, yo, maybe it's not fucking, maybe it was God's will. Because listen, turning your head at the right moment and then
Yeah.
surviving that. I mean, like the chances of him going, man, look at that, and then the bullet just missing him. And of course, they broke down like how close the bullet was and where his brains would have been had he not, turned
Hmm.
his head. And the media did not pick up on that at all. Had that been Kamala Harris or Biden, we would have been hearing schematics and AI 3D sketches and all kinds of shit. They would have
Hmm.
did a walkthrough. They would have had a drone over the side and like, this is what it looked like. But when it came down to Trump, they were like, yeah, he survived. Who cares? You know? Um, so
You
yeah,
know what I saw with that? You know what I saw is this. Okay. God has a good hand and he has a heavy hand.
right,
And when he has his good hand on you, you're fully protected.
right.
But you know what? He moved a finger to let just a nick and say, okay, who's in charge now? That's what I feel, you
And
know?
listen, something. I mean, almost, it was a miracle. Bottom line, it was a
Hmm.
fucking miracle. Now, some people, sorry, in the chats was saying that the German chancellor or president, whatever it is, congratulated Trump. But it's the German people who are upset at
Yes.
Trump winning, not
Yes.
the elected leaders of those countries. It's actually the people that are upset.
Correct.
Right.
Yes,
But
correct. Yeah.
somebody said,
I'm sorry that I misconstrued that.
no one picking, keep picking. Yeah. So when people say that, they're like, your father will correct you. That's a good way of putting it, Craig. Yeah. So yeah, the
Hmm.
German
Yeah.
people weren't happy with him the first time around, and I don't understand why we even give a fuck. Like who cares? You're over there. They're trying to like, I don't know. They're they're looking because one of those Germans made a comment about him being Hitler-esque, and I'm like, wait, what? You motherfuckers spawned the man who changed the world, and now you're trying to get away from that so badly that you're trying to place blame on somebody else who's not even close to being Hitler-esque. Like I've never seen the amount of hate for a man around the world, and that has to be media-controlled nonsense. I mean, like
Hmm.
me not liking Trump is because I followed the man for years. I'm like he's arrogant, right? But what he does for the country
Hmm.
is two different things, and
Yeah.
people are not getting it either way. Now, Johnny Three Away, I can't keep up with this chat. This chat is moving pretty fast. I do apologize for that.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's because I only have like a few hundred people, so I don't bother. But there's 1.2 thousand in here, or 1,200 people. I don't even know why the fuck I said it that way. There's 1,200
Oh
people
my
in this zone.
gosh.
Right. So it's moving pretty
Wow.
fast.
My
I don't.
gosh. Well, I hope that some of them come over and take a break and have a laugh with me over on Calamity Girl.
There,
Um,
there will be enough people to head over there. So guys, if you
Thank
don't
you.
mind, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Guys, listen, the trolls, you guys control. You guys trolls add to a channel, so it's okay. There was a remark in here that somebody took. I guess a couple people took offense to it. I didn't care, but whatever. Hitler was a failed insurrectionist too. Hitler was a failed insurrectionist too. I guess this
But
person
the
was.
problem with that,
He wasn't a
can
failed
I'm sorry, can I
insurrectionist.
say that?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, is that with Hitler, he was a very weak, but he surrounded himself with smart and strong men.
Right. Okay, that's very
That's
good.
what happened with Hitler. Hmm.
And yeah, right. So, and he was a good speaker. Now, a lot of people are like, why would you give that man any accolades? We were having this conversation in the firehouse. I'm like, listen, you always have to acknowledge your enemies, whatever it might be, because to sit
Oh
there
yeah.
and whatever it is, like his military tacticians and on Hitler's side, they were good at what they did. That's why they won a lot of
Hmm.
fucking battles. But I forgot who the general was for World War II. He was better, right? That's why.
Hmm.
And
Patton.
we also and we also got lucky with a lot of the battles that turned out the way they did because Germany actually wind up screwing themselves over by overextending their military and leaving them vulnerable, cold, no weapons, shit clothes, no food. A lot of guys jumped ship, meaning they left their posts and shit like that because they were starving.
Hmm.
So they also had that. But that same shit happened in I forgot who's military. The same shit happened to them, and it was like you thought Hitler would have looked at this guy's uh, problem and go, all right, we're not going to repeat the same thing, but they absolutely did.
Mhm.
I want to say
Mhm.
Stalin, but I could be wrong.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Uh, my grandfather, uh, he fought on D-Day and stormed Utah Beach in Normandy.
All right,
And the only reason that I'm here today is because he stormed Utah Beach instead of Nebraska, or I mean Omaha Beach,
really,
or any of those other beaches, because they all those other ones were slaughtered,
right.
and but not Utah Beach. But when he came back from war, he never told a story about it because he was so traumatized.
Well, right. I mean,
Hmm.
it's funny this whole trauma thing now. And now that you mention it, I mean, like men back then had some real trauma, right? They saw some real shit. They saw their buddies
Hmm.
die, but that was World War II, Vietnam, Desert Storm. Guys saw some real shit in those wars, and
Hmm.
the trauma thing now is the left. They're sitting there. I could almost see it by tomorrow morning. We're going to see people calling out of work because they are traumatized by Trump winning the election. And the word,
Well, yeah, it's already happening.
oh, is it? Oh, boy.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
The
it's
1917 Russian
nuts.
Revolution. Joseph Stalin. Okay, someone said Joseph Stalin. I think that's what I was thinking. The one I was thinking about. People,
Hmm.
wait. People called out of work for this.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I saw one girl on YouTube, and she was crying, and she had moved back in with her parents to save money,
Okay.
and it was causing a rift between them. And now, the family doesn't talk.
She
The
moved
family
back in with
doesn't
a.
talk.
She moved back in with a family that's not talking to her.
Correct. Yeah.
That's odd.
It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. You know, um,
Do me a
this is
favor.
supposed to,
Give me two
yeah.
seconds. I gotta check something out.
Okay. Okay. That's what he said before. Let's count on him.
Yeah.
One Mississippi, two Mississippi. Yeah. Oh, well.
No, I
So,
smell. I smell fire somewhere. I'm just making sure it's not in the
uh-oh.
building. Yeah. I'm like sitting here having a good time, having a conversation. Shit burning around me. But yeah, it's outside somewhere. But I don't. I didn't get a notification, so I guess it's fine.
That makes me nervous. That just my heart just sank to my to
Well,
my
I mean,
gut,
yeah, because
literally.
of what you want to. But I live in a concrete building, so fire doesn't spread as it would a home or a
Mhm.
5 or 6 story tenement downstairs. This is all
Yeah.
concrete. The fire would be contained to this apartment unless it laps out of a window or there's a shaft somewhere where it goes up. But yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I'm burning my fire.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I woke up, thank God for, the fire alarm. You know what? For people who just, because of their, little beep, beep, because they can't reach up to, do the
Change it right.
battery, you know what? That saved my life, my
Really?
fire alarm. Yeah, 3 a.m. My was the fire. And if it weren't for that, I literally, Jason, I crawled out on my stomach.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It was intense, and I don't know, 15 minutes later the house caved in.
15 minutes later?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a fire somewhere, but it's not in the building, so that's a good thing. But
I'm sorry I counted on you.
I'm not, really am. I'm not talking shit. Yeah, the chat is it's in rare form tonight. Well, not rare form. It used to be the Wild West back in the days, but now it's like it calmed down, and now like it looks like the
Mhm.
trolls are back, and everybody's going after it tonight.
Oh,
Chair.
right on.
Yes, the chair's wearing red tonight. This red thing just throws me off every time I look at it on camera. But so now, worst case scenario. What
Yeah.
is your worst case scenario involving everything that's going on now with Trump, the election, and inauguration day?
What do I see as the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
I see that, I hate to say this, but, and I have nothing to do with it, of course, you know,
Right.
but I see things going sideways because let's face it, the upper echelon that rule everything don't want him in there, and they're going to fight with everything that they have to prevent him from getting in there. Everything they have. Yeah.
And
And now, they're all pissed off at, Uncle Joe, sitting there in the retirement home because he should have walked away sooner. They could have got a better candidate. Blah blah blah. Well, there's always a Monday morning quarterback.
right.
Always.
And the craziness about it is that when this all unfolded, because the later tonight in the Angry Truth, I'm going to be talking about the blame game a little more in detail. But of
Mhm.
course, they saw this coming. And
Mhm.
when it happened, they didn't sit there and go, you know what? Holy shit, we're going to have to find somebody to replace him. They were all happy with the replacement. And then when the replacement lost, they're like, well, Joe should have did this, Joe should have did that, Kamala Harris should have did this, Tim Ball should have never been picked,
Mhm.
that's lunatic, Like, and now they're like
Mhm.
all Monday morning quarterbacking when even, again, I'm not a political expert, but when she picked Tim Walz, I was like, that was a bad choice. Not that she was going to win. She wasn't going
Mhm.
to win because her lack of effort in this country is what did her in. And emotionally, a lot of people didn't vote for Trump because it was emotions. That's all it came down to. They came down to not liking the man. I mean, look at the people who are crying on social media. And guys, and for those of you that are watching, I would implore you guys to go to Instagram or Twitter, X, whatever it's called, and just look at the thousands of videos of people crying. You got grown ass men crying on national TV. Jimmy Kimmel, who I forgot was part of the man show, right? He used to have chicks with fucking, bikinis and shit bouncing on trampolines just to watch, their, excuse me, breasts bounce around, right? And so that was him. But now he's on national TV crying, talking about people's dreams are over and their life is this. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And
You
so,
know why? Because they own him. They own him. They have something on they have something on everybody is the problem. It's just like, the whole Diddy thing.
right,
Nobody talked because they had something on me.
right,
And if they found out about something on me, well then, the everything's going to fly.
right,
Well, that's how I feel. But I really feel like, it's kind of the calm before the storm because everything went so well. And I
right,
think it was a time for them to regroup because they knew that they had a clown, for and that, who knows, that could have been intentional. Okay, well, you know what? Let's put in plan B in effect and put the clown in.
right. Well, yeah, the clown.
That's how I feel.
The clown was a bad choice. For those that don't know, because we are at the half hour mark, this is Calamity Girl. She has a YouTube channel. She is pretty much your homesteader, right? You do homesteading and shit like that, right? So that's basically her channel. For those that don't know, head over to her channel. The link should be in the chat. It'll pop up a couple more times between now and then.
Mhm.
And thank you guys for answering the question. It's Calamity Girl. Yeah, so if the chat doesn't mind, answer any questions that I might miss. I do appreciate it. But listen, I'm I'm not confused and I'm not shocked. I'm annoyed by the way
Mhm.
people are reacting to this loss. And the crazy shit is people were utterly surprised. Now I thought they were going to steal this. And that was
Mhm.
I said that time and time again. I said there's no
Yeah.
way he's going to win because they
Mhm.
are going to take it. And I said, but if it's an honest election, he is going to beat her hands down, no problem. And I guess it was an honest election because he beat her. He whipped her like the
I
slave she is. No,
I
I
don't know
understand.
if it was an honest election because, okay, I'm out here in Wyoming. All
Right.
right.
Uh-oh.
I want to know who are the 68,000 people that voted for Kamala,
Okay.
because I'm sorry, I don't know of a single one here.
Right. And so
It's just me.
when you look at those numbers, you are like Colorado. I mean, people get it, Um, but I did I fuck that up? I did. I'll never do that again. Anyway, um, but even still, even if they tried, let's just say they tried to,
Okay.
flood the numbers for her, he still beat her. So imagine if they didn't flood the numbers. Let's just say they did, for argument's sake. Hypothetically speaking, YouTube, so they don't fucking sit there and talking shit. Even if they did, and that comes out that they did, what does that say about America? The fact that Trump still beat her fair and square, on his side anyway.
Hmm.
Because there were a lot of people, Democrats, a lot of Democrats that were like, yo, we can't do this. We can't do this shit 4 more years and not have an incompetent. And I mean, he flipped Democratic counties throughout the country,
Oh yeah.
right? Starr
Oh,
County in Texas and Miami-Dade in Florida, right? And Starr County in Texas was back in 1835, I think it was the last time a Republican won that county.
is that right?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know
and
that.
Miami-Dade since Reagan. The last time it was flipped was by Reagan, right? So that's 40 something years, whatever it is. So that's good, right? And that shows you that people were done and pissed with the Democratic Party. And that's what the left is not understanding. These people are coming on not national TV. They're coming on their phones and their TikTok account or whatever it is, and they're crying into their camera, and they missed the point that people were done with the Democratic bullshit. It had nothing to do so much with Trump being a racist and all this other shit, because people overlooked that. They had a kid. I don't know why he was in his closet. Maybe he was coming out. Who the fuck knows? But he was filming himself getting dressed, and he goes, "I can't understand this. He's a felon, and I can't even work in a factory or whatever the fuck he said." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, man, because his felonies were bullshit. They went too hard.
Hmm.
They showed too many people their ass by going after Trump over bullshit."
Hmm. Well, what is the name of the attorney general? I forget that squirrel's name. But
The one,
anyway,
the one in New York.
no, no, no.
Oh,
The attorney general
the U.S.
for,
Attorney General. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, sorry. Um, Whatever his name is. Uh, he has, all these things that are trumped up,
No.
these accusations, not accusations, but I guess criminal filings. Well, you know what? He's going to have to do something with those. He's going to have to figure out what to do, because you cannot charge a sitting president with a felony.
Right.
And Trump is going to become his boss. And so that's another thing that we got to think about is what's going to happen with all of these people. You know, I mean, is that going to unravel our government? I mean, okay? What's going to happen there? Because this is going to be a show. It's going to be a total show to watch,
Well, for the next few
in my
months.
opinion.
Yes.
Hmm.
So everybody's saying Merrill Garland. Is that right? Merrill Garland? Merrick Garland. Excuse
Yes,
me. Right.
Merrick
Merrick
Garland.
Garland.
Yes,
Right. So now
yes. Thank you, thank you.
Letitia James, who's I think the New York State Attorney General, right? If I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. She yesterday, I think it was, or today, might have been yesterday. She goes, we didn't see this happening. Trump winning. And that shows you how stupid she is, that she didn't see it happening, right? She goes, "We didn't."
Hmm.
You know why she said that? She said that because I think they were planning to steal it or take it, and it didn't work out in their favor. Either way, the way she gave her speech, she made it sound like she sounded like Darth Vader, and all I can hear in the background was the Star Wars theme because she was like, "We have a contingency plan, and we're gonna make sure that we follow through on a contingency plan, and we're gonna charge them." And this, I'm like, You act like he touched a bunch of kids. There's a whole group of people
Yeah.
in Hollywood right now diddling a kid or two. And they're worried about him and the fact that he
Yeah.
trumped up, no pun intended, some of his real estate, and he boosted the amount that it was worth. And it was the dumbest speech I've ever heard. She was like, and she said so straight faced, and I was like, what is she fucking saying? Like, these people were, I mean, yo, he
Well, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. I was just gonna say that her whole speech. For those of you that haven't heard her speech, go on X and look up Letitia James Trump speech or whatever it was. Yo,
Hmm.
that's some commie shit that she said. Insane,
Yeah, it is. It's very arrogant, very, very arrogant.
big time.
And uh, shoot, I just lost my train of thought. Go
That's
ahead,
fine.
talk amongst yourself.
That's fine. I lose my train of thought all the time.
Oh, I'm so glad. But I have MS for those who don't know, and most of my I I don't have problems with my mobility per se. It's my cognitive. So sometimes it gets me there.
Okay.
So yeah. But go ahead, go ahead. I lost my complete train
Google
of thought.
censorship. Thank you for the donations, man. I appreciate it. Flint McRock. That is seemingly the the consensus, right? That a lot of these people had to have been heavily brainwashed to think and believe what they are thinking. It's insanity. I mean, like, these people are seriously screwed up in the head. Now, one of my subscribers um, made a good, not point, but something to look forward to or something to
Mhm.
look at um, if it should happen. But prep to adapt, she made a good comment earlier today, and she was like, what if these people, the left, the Democrats, are so pissed and angry that they start looking up who voted for Trump and start going after them on a personal level? And she goes,
Mhm.
where I live, they can look people up in that manner. And I don't know if we can do that in New York. I mean, maybe we can. Not that I give a fuck. But I remember saying to her, I go, I hope they fucking find me. I hope they come to my doorstep and start their bullshit. But it was a good idea that she threw out there that could be a possibility because these people are desperate. I mean, if you're screaming at your camera, if you're saying these people hate me, this one chick, she was like, we can't get a black woman in office. I'm like, if I'm talking to the screen, I'm like, but bitch, she isn't black. She's fucking Indian. She's a
Mhm.
fucking flying carpet, fucking dancing cobra
Mhm.
bullshit. That's her fucking background. She's not African American or Caribbean by any stretch of the imagination.
Mhm.
Still,
Mhm. Oh, I remember.
there you go.
I remember what it was. Barack and Big Mike supposedly left the country.
Did they?
That's what I'm hearing with a lot of luggage.
Really? Riot season is
Mhm.
upon us. Get ready. Crackshot 322. I would definitely concur with that. You know what? That's
Well, I'll tell
listen.
you what.
That,
Anybody comes to my door, and anybody who watches my channel knows that I live beyond the boonies,
okay.
and that my dogs are my alarm. But anybody that comes to my door, they'll be met with an A and then an R looking at them.
I hear you. Um,
Mhm.
she
But
escaped.
I
Yeah.
live in Wyoming. I can do that.
Yeah, we don't. We can't do that. I have the book of harsh languages, and that's pretty much. But I mean, listen, that's just something to consider. I am not saying it's going to happen because I know fucking tomorrow somebody's going to be like, "Well, the Angry Prepper said." No, it's something to consider because these people are desperate. I mean,
Mhm.
I think inauguration day they're going to have a riot on their hands in D.C. That's part of the reason why I'm going.
Oh.
Election. Did
Mhm.
RCX has said, did they leave because of the election or because of Pete Diddy? The whole Pete Diddy thing is very interesting
I
and the
think it's
Pete
tied in with it.
the Pete Diddy's tied into everyone. Everyone. I mean, everyone he touched. Listen, I remember being a kid and hearing about P. Diddy's party. When I was a kid, I'm fucking 30.
Really?
Yeah, I'm 47. So when I mean a kid, I mean like my late teens, early 20s, right? I remember hearing about Diddy and his bullshit. And I remember saying to myself, that don't sound fun. Like, listen, I was never a party guy. I used to go to house parties when I was younger, and I'd be like, oh man, this is fucking not cool standing in here, all these people in the crowded ass house, you know, um, that wasn't my thing. So when I heard Diddy's party when I was a little older from house parties, I was like, yeah, no, I don't, I never want to be fucking in that situation. And then you find out Diddy's parties were just straight up and down disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah.
I heard about the
Yeah.
gay shit when I was a kid. I was like, they're banging dudes? He goes, yeah. I go, that's gross. They go, yeah, it is. And then you start hearing about how detailed it was. You're like, yo, this is fucking crazy. The streets were
Yeah.
talking about this shit when I was younger. Now it's coming out, and now everybody's like, it's a distraction. A distraction from what? This is about sex trafficking and the world that he's in, that he can open the door to and free tens of thousands of kids, but they don't want to do this. And I say this all the time. The FBI, the CIA, the TAF, the ATF, excuse me, the TAF, the
Mhm.
ATF, everybody knows where all of this is. Local police department
Mhm.
knows who's dabbling in what, and nobody's
Oh
doing
yeah.
anything, right? You got the United States presidents, all of them know where the sex trafficking highway is. And one of the main highways is 80, which goes across. There's another one, there's
Mhm.
95, which is obvious. And there's two more that are like a main thoroughway of where these women and kids are being trafficked through. But nobody
Mhm.
wants to do anything about it. They want to focus on Trump being a bad man. They want to focus on P. Diddy, which they should because he's a gateway into that. Epstein is a
Mhm.
gateway into that. There are
Mhm.
so many things that we can definitely get answers out of with this, but we're not doing that.
Mhm.
We're fucking worried about
Mhm.
the price of fucking gas and food, which we should, but we should also be worried about the kids that are being dumped, buried, and put somewhere where they'll never be found.
What happened to the Maui children? All those children from Maui that were missing. We
Yes,
heard about it, and then 48 hours, you don't hear anything. What happened to all of those children?
yeah, well, that story seemed to have died. I also didn't follow it up like I said I was going to. I-55, a couple people saying. I said I-95. I-55 was another one. I-35, Texas pipeline. 325,000 kids are missing here in the United States or worldwide? I would think here in the
In the
United States.
US.
Would it
Oh,
be the United
I
States?
do. I
Yeah.
do. I think so.
But I mean, there's so many, and yet we're sitting here, and it's funny because I found out about a group a while ago that's involved heavily into this, and they are quote unquote um, holy people,
Mhm.
but they are moving heavy weight in regards to that. You have MS-13, the South American gang,
Yeah.
the Tren de Agua, another one. They're moving these people around, and
Yeah.
the politicians and the FBI and the police departments
Mhm.
all like to tell us, oh, we can't do anything about it once they're gone because then they disappear. I'm like, fucking bullshit. People, I mean, like I said, I could fucking throw a rock and hit somebody that knows how to get into that world, and at least my toe into it. And though I have my foot in it, as you would put it, um, waiting for the fucking green light to get some things done is where I'm having an issue with right now because a lot of people are saying that we shouldn't do anything yet until we get more info. And I'm like, but
Mhm.
just fucking told me where it was. And they're like, no, 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 we want to sit on it for a little bit. So I don't know where to go with that. I'm a little frustrated about it because I'm like, all right, then what? What are we going to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line? You know? But
Mhm.
there's a lot, especially here in New York. There's a lot of fucking sex trafficking here. I mean, it's. I think
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a hub or not, but this definitely is a fucking hub to a lot of the shit that's going on, whether it's drugs, sex trafficking, guns. This is one of the hubs here.
Hmm. Well, one thing that we're neglecting to say is, what about the underground tunnels, cities, you
Yeah,
know? And a lot of things, get, I you never see a celebrity stuck in traffic, do you?
you know what I have here in New York, not unfortunately, but like yeah, like Queen
Oh,
Latifah,
yeah.
yeah, and like presidents and politicians, no, they never get stuck in traffic, but everybody else does. And there were tunnels that FDR used to take to Grand Central Station. I don't know if those tunnels are backfilled or still active. I'm going to go on a limb and say maybe they are still active, but they were a way to get out of the city a long time ago. But that does bring up good because I know a lot of politicians don't get stuck in traffic. Like I rarely hear them getting stuck in traffic, but I know celebrities. I see them in sitting in the cars when I pass them.
Okay.
Tracy Morgan, who lives in Jersey, right across the bridge from me. Queen Latifah, when she had a show here in the city, I've seen her a couple times in a
Mhm.
car. And then you just watch. A lot of them do take the trains, believe it or not. You will catch a lot of them with the
Okay.
hats down like this, on the train. But as far as politicians go, I rarely hear them get stuck in traffic here. But that's
Mhm.
also because
You
NYPD clears the way for them. New York City's a hub for everything. Yeah,
I
Stevie.
was listening to this one gal, and she happened to be trafficked,
Okay.
and she's out of it, and she's not anymore, and she's in her later 20s, I would guess. Well, she was talking about how they had tunnels, and how intricate they were, and that you can get lost in those places if you didn't know exactly where you were going. Or she was even talking about this one time when underneath the, oh, what is that museum in Los Angeles where you stare at all the stars?
Oh, the
Um,
planetarium.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
And
one by
where
the
the
Hollywood
Greek,
sign. Yeah.
yeah, and where the Greek theater is over
Okay.
by there. Well, that she and a group of girls walked in, and then they were led by an employee down a certain way, and you can only get into these tunnels by being escorted. And the way that she described it was absolutely insane. And different people that I hear have been through have been trafficked. They talk about these tunnels all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The Griffith Observatory. That's the one you're talking about. The one where you can see the stars.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
The Griffith Observatory.
yes.
Right. I went there once. Pretty cool. Thank you for the 7 minute warning. For those that are watching, I will be heading over to the Angry Truth channel at around 10 o'clock,
Hmm.
damn near on the nose. We're going to talk about Kamala Harris and her nonsense. And I'm also going to talk about more of the craziness that can probably ensue between now and January. I think while
Hmm.
President Trump's in office, we're going to see a lot of nonsense. We're going to see a lot of crazy shit because people don't know how to
Oh
let
yeah.
go. You know? Oh, there's oh, I have to talk about this real quick. But one of my friends, this chick sent me this picture of a bill. She got a text message, and the text message
Hmm.
reads, "I'm begging, sign the petition to pass Chuck Schumer's No King Act and strip Trump of his immunity." This was a text message she got from a friend.
Mm,
So the No
mm,
King Act is to stop Trump and his immunity. And I'm like, yo, like he wins the election,
mm,
and like children, they're lashing out and trying to pull out all the stops to make sure he doesn't get to office. Right. So
mhm,
I don't know what the immunity thing is going to do. Um, I'm not sure what that has anything to do with, but they will not stop. Again, we're going to talk about the No Kings Act later tonight as well, because I mean, yo, this they will not stop. Every day
mhm.
between now and I'm going to assume inauguration day, these politicians are going to be on his ass. As far as people protesting, it's going to be every day he's in office. They're going to find a reason to protest and act badly and behave like children.
Yeah.
Um,
I think this is the most critical time right now for our country between now and January 20th.
yeah, no, and you're definitely right about that because something just, it's just weird how they just won't let it go. I mean, granted, listen,
Mhm.
the idiots that did what they did on J6, there was,
Mhm.
I'll always say there was a reason for it, but it was poorly planned out. It didn't stop
Mhm.
anything. It just got a lot of dudes arrested. And if we're gonna do something,
Mhm.
it needs to be on something a little more concrete, like
A
taxes,
little more
perhaps. Right,
organized.
right. More organized, more concrete. I would say,
Mhm.
like not like the fucking squirrel thing. People like, oh,
Mhm.
the squirrel nutty, whatever the fuck his name is. They're like, they did this, they did that. I'm like, wait a minute, we're drawing the line on a fucking squirrel and not our
Right.
taxes and the chipping away of the Second Amendment and the chipping away of our fucking freedom of speech. Let's forget about that. Let's worry about a
Yeah.
fucking squirrel. I'm like, fuck that squirrel. I just seen that squirrel in the street. I'd have probably kicked it across the fucking road because I can't stand squirrels. Squirrels are like fucking.
Oh,
Squirrels are like giant fucking rats, you know. And people like, oh my god, the squirrel. The raccoons, they're fucking everywhere. You could throw a rock and hit 8 of them right now, and people worried about a fucking raccoon. I'm like, fuck that raccoon, dude. We got fucking. We need more. We need to be upset about that, like, and focus that on,
yeah.
again, Second Amendment, free speech, the bullshit that's coming down the pike from the World Economic Forum, the UN, the World Health Organization. That's where we should be focusing our energy, not on a fucking whatever. The squirrel shit really annoys me.
Pick your battles. My father, he once told me, he said, pick your battles,
Right.
but the battles that you pick, you better be sure that you can win it,
Yeah, and it's
or that
peanut.
you
Right.
put up the fight of your life.
No, and
But
yeah,
pick your battle wisely. That's what
yeah,
he
because this
told me.
peanut shit, that's not a battle. That is not a fucking battle that we should be even
No,
focusing on. Uh,
no.
and I mean, like, again, we could be in the streets right now handling some shit with sex trafficking. We could be hitting up
Hmm.
politicians in their homes and forcing them to deal with it. We can go after the people who are actually doing it. And we're talking about the triads, the Albanians, the Armenians, who else is involved? The Trendy Agua, the MS-13. We could be hitting them up in droves
Hmm.
as a pack and going after and freeing these kids. But instead, people want to be upset about a fucking squirrel safe from fucking home. But again, that's me, and and people are like, oh, but you don't understand what it means. I know exactly what it means. It's an overreach of power. But the government has been overreaching their power for decades, and we draw the line on a fucking squirrel. So we're gonna all meet out in a battlefield in PA somewhere with a kid playing a flute and fucking going after each other for civil war over a fucking squirrel.
Look at what the military is becoming.
That's an embarrassment.
So yeah. So I mean, if you think of if it just makes no sense. So something that does not make sense is confusion. That's always from the enemy. It's always
Yes,
from the enemy lines.
and and
Confusion.
and that's what we're faced with now. Peanut had information that could put Hillary behind bars. Probably so. I like that one. Around here, squirrels are dinner. And that, I mean, like, I wouldn't go fucking that far to go, Granny. Wouldn't go that far to eat a squirrel, but
Maybe one
nonetheless,
day,
yeah. Well,
maybe one
yeah.
day sooner than we know.
Listen, I ate a chipmunk once. I wasn't fucking happy about that, and I won't do that again because it was just too time consuming. It was just too little. It was like fucking. It was stupid. It was dumb. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire fucking life. I've done a lot of dumbass shit, but we are
You gotta
going to,
go.
yes, we're going to go off the air now. So, guys, this is Calamity Girl. Her, excuse me, the link to her channel will be in the chat. It'll also be in the
Thank
description
you.
section below at the end. Listen, guys, other than that, I will see some of you guys next week for the doubleheader. I will have Calamity Girl back on in the near future, especially with everything going on.
Thank
I
you.
will have more guests on as well. Again, vetted guests that I know. like Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. He should be on here and probably in the next couple of weeks as well. And other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for dealing with me. Thank you for giving my guest a good time in the chat, as I appreciate it. And I will see you guys
Thank you.
next week. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.